Hey guys, Clive here, and it's been probably 2 weeks since my last video, and the reason for that is I've been working on kind of big things, which makes it harder for me to think of good ideas for things to make videos on. So I thought at the very least I'll give you a little kind of update video. Nothing will be coming out in this video, I will just be showing you some cool stuff. So if you're just here to see cool stuff, then this is the video for you. So one of the things I've been working on besides directly on the server, well, for the most part I am working directly on the server. So I've been working on two things. So on the server there is a motorcycle which I added, and I did a live stream of that. You can check it out in the live streams playlist. I'm not going to show that today because I will be making a more finalized version and maybe even a release mode for you guys. Really big plans for that, but we're still working on finalizing the 3D model, making it look better, and fixing up the controls. But what this is something kind of interesting that I've never seen before. This is where the creativity aspect comes into play. You see, it's not just good enough. It's not just good enough to be good at commands. It's not just good enough to be a programmer and know how to solve problems logically. You also have to be creative. If you're not creative, then you'll never make something that really is outside of the box, that really solves a problem that maybe nobody else saw, but is able to come to some really cool possibilities. So in this case, I thought of a really interesting idea. So the game, it allows you to make recipes, but not MBT recipes. So the way that people solve this is they make generators, such as I have in the past. But I thought, what if you could make recipes in the game? What if you could just make a recipe in the game? Now, how is this even possible? So yeah, if you did this logically, it would be probably the slowest custom crafter known to man. But I thought of a solution that makes it the fastest custom crafter known to man. Now that is a bold statement, and I don't know if it's necessarily true, but hypothetically, it should possibly be true. The reason is I came up with something called the item database, and I made a single live stream talking about the item database, but I decided to turn it into a standalone data pack that anybody can use as a zip file, and also has a UI built in that you can clearly see here. So let me hit F3H so that things are a little bit prettier, and let's take a look at the item database. So the item database is a system for creating custom items with IDs attached to those items. What this means is these boots have an ID associated with them of say 6, okay? So these have an ID of 6. This has, well, no, 0, 1, 2, 3. These have an ID of 3. These have an ID of 4. These have an ID of 5. And what basically this allows you to do is create MBT-based items inside data storage that have IDs linked to them. And why do you want IDs linked to them? Well, IDs can be linked to other IDs via reference. So what I essentially have done is also created a versioning system with this. So see how this says old on it. Ignore the old because the item does not naturally come with the word old on it. It's something artificial. But if I go ahead and do scoreboard players set as item DB relog 1, that will turn into whatever the newest one is. And in this case, I made the newest version of it, this redstone lamp. But that's just semantics. It's because of I just played around. But essentially what you can do is you can create a new item in the database that links to an old item in the database. And thus when you update the users, it will turn into that new item, which is very useful for servers for keeping track of new versions of items. So for example, let's say you did a balance change to a sword that's OP in an RPG. Well, then everybody gets the new item dynamically once you literally just add this and have some special rules like when they relog, it changes their inventory, and maybe you have to do some container checking, which I might add in, but it's not for my project because my project does not allow people to use ender chests or containers. But maybe I'll add those functionalities in as well. I will be, one of the reasons I'm making this video just to show things off is because I will be rewriting a good proportion of the data pack to fix some things and clean up some code so it's a little bit cleaner. So you can also, all of the vanilla items also have an ID, which is an important part to the next step. So vanilla items also have an ID, and you can grab them from here, or they just naturally come with an ID when you get them if you have the setting turned on for that. I do have the setting turned on for that, so if I do F3H, you'll see that this has 2 tags, and if I do data get entity as selected item.tag, you will see that it has an ID of -398. If it's a negative tag, that means it's a vanilla item. And I did that so that when they add new vanilla items to the game, I will be able to expand this list. Okay, so all that being said, why did I add these IDs? Well, the versioning was a big reason, but what else does it allow you to do? Well, it allows you to do recipes that are dynamic efficiently. So I can essentially, let's just get some stuff. And let's go with pickaxe. So let's make this recipe as a custom recipe. So I go to the custom recipe and I hit this down arrow till I reach the greens. Okay, this is green. Green is the end of it. It means it's something new. So I make something new in here. So I go like that, and then I go like that, and then I go like, hold on, that, and that, and that, and that. Okay, that made the recipe. Well, the recipe was made as soon as I changed one of them. It was added to the list. Now, normally you would have to check for the MBT to see if this MBT matches. And what this means is if I have 50 recipes, I have to go through all 50 recipes to see if their MBTs match the original thing, and also do this with shifting. Like, for example, this snow block could be in the bottom right corner, top right, top left. But this is way easier if they're all ID'd, okay? So instead of checking if the MBTs match, you check if a number matches. And if you want to check numbers, you can just put numbers on scores and you can check if scores match. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, nice and simple. So if I just go over here, give myself 3 default diamonds and 2 of these sticks, I can just go here. And boom, it's already added to the game. I did not even type reload. You saw no reload occur, which this is important for servers to be able to modify or add new recipes without having to reload the game. That way moderators don't have to access the data pack. Everything is safe. They're not going to cause any bugs and they're not going to break anything. It's very simple, very itemized, very, very basic. And then I can just click that and it gives it to me. And I have accounted for every single possible thing you could think of. So for example, if I have 64 oak logs and I put them here, it will show me oak planks 4. If I put them here, oak planks 4. If I put them here, oak planks 4. Everything works here, by the way. So then I can go ahead and just put it, and I can hit shift click and it'll give me 4 stacks of 64, just as you expect. Also, if my inventory is full, if I fill my inventory like this, and then I get rid of one of these, and I give myself those snow, because I actually have a recipe for this. Okay, let me actually just go with 8, because it'll give me a lot of these things. So then I have this, but all the items will be, I'm in creative mode, I'm sorry. So there's all the items. If you're not in creative mode, you can't pick them up until you throw this all out. If I hit Q, I'll be able to. So I should have, I think 8 stacks here. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. So yeah, so you don't lose the items if you craft it all. Okay, so that's everything I really wanted to show you guys. It also works for multiple items with multiple stacks. Obviously, it just works properly. I can go ahead and do 4 of these, 3 of these, put them here, gives me that, and leaves a stick left. So everything's been accounted for. It all works great. The crafter works as intended, and the code is hella simple. So the code to search if you have a valid recipe is literally just this. This is it. This is all the code it requires. Well, obviously there's a few other components to get it, the data tempered in such a way, but essentially you just load the numbers from this array. Okay, check if the numbers are equal to the input array. This is the only check you need to do to see if they're equal. And there are a bunch of score checks, bunch of score movement, and then remove the thing at the end. So you just cycle. So you do these set of commands for every single item in the recipe list, all of the recipes, which is pretty efficient. I could have made it even less data modify, get, store stuff, but I think this is more efficient than having a bunch of functions. Like I could have checked, is the first one equal? If the first one's equal, then check the second. Is the second one equal? Then check this the third. I could have done that, but I think it's more efficient than having a bunch of extra function calls. Yeah, so this is really simple. This is really clean. I just wanted to let you guys know what I'm up to. It's going to take me some more time to really refactor the code, you know, not necessarily refactor, but just make it cleaner, make it less confusing names of files, and also allow things to be on a different data storage. So I do data get storage item DB. It is Minecraft item DB, which is bad. So we're saving everything on on the Minecraft data storage. If I create a custom namespace, then essentially you'll be able to back up your storage files and your item database and your recipe database separately, which will be cool. So that's another function that I'm trying to add to it. And then also just making it work for barrel crafters. And I also want to add support for ender chest crafters. And I want to add support for hopper crafters as well. Maybe, really just barrel and ender chest are the only ones that are necessary. So I need to rework a bunch of stuff. But the proof of concept, it works. Everything works together. This is pretty much done, the UI for it, the interfacing. But obviously this needs to be reworked. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.